Hello friends, welcome to Bicaps, and today's topic is Google Spreadsheets, and in fact two most important functions of Google Spreadsheets, and they are query function and import range function. These are the two functions that we are going to study today. But before that, let's first understand why is as a latest trend people are shifting from Microsoft Excel to Google Sheets. So there are, in my opinion, two basic things. First is that it is a cloud-based spreadsheet platform. So you do all the working on cloud. You can actually share that data, that working with your colleagues who can commonly work on that based on user authentications. And second is you can work across devices. Let's say you have right now done work on your computer and then you go to a client place. You do not need to carry those workings in your pen drive, or you do not need to mail it to your client or even mail it to yourself, because the data is available on the cloud. So when you go to client place, you open you can open the data on his particular computer as well, just by logging into the email ID on which it has been created. So this is the first, that it is a cloud-based spreadsheet, so it makes easy to share and to use the data across devices. And the second thing is that it has some additional functions and features. Now there are many of them, but these are the basic ones. The first is the query and import range that we're going to talk about today. Second is the automatically saving of the spreadsheet working. So when you're working on it, it automatically gets saved every second, every 5 to 10 seconds. But in normal Excel, you have to press Control S every time. So accidentally, if the sheet closes and you've not pressed Control S, you might lose the working that has been done since you last pressed Control plus S. So in spreadsheets, it's not the case. Even if you accidentally close the browser or close the sheet, the data is saved on real time. Second is you can restore the previous versions of your data. So let's say you have worked on a spreadsheet today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and after a week you realize that the last 3 days of working was all wrong, and you want to restore it back. So you can actually check the previous versions that are available and actually restore your spreadsheet to that version. That now this function is not available in Microsoft Excel. The fourth thing is that it has a cell level user wise authorization. So you can like you are working commonly on a data, so you're sharing to other users. You can actually put a cell level authorization as well, that on a particular cell who can edit and who cannot edit. And last but not the least, it can integrate with other online applications through API. So all this stuff we would be covering in the future videos if you keep supporting us. But today the topic is query and import range. So let's quickly come to it. So I have prepared a dummy data for you. So this is a data where the name of the client is there, the partner who is handling the client, and the outstanding fee. So as the caption of this video said, that we will tell you that how you can work by pulling the data from one particular spreadsheet to another spreadsheet, and also selecting the data based on certain parameters. So let's say in this particular data, we're maintaining the outstanding of all the clients of a company, but there are two partners who are looking after some of the other clients. Now what we want is, out of privacy issues or out of not bothering both the partners with all the data, we want that when Angad opens it up, he can see only his clients and the outstanding, and when Vardeep opens, he can see only his clients and the corresponding outstanding amount. So to do that, we are going to use those functions, query and import range. So let's first create another spreadsheet that is meant for Angad. So this sheet is not shared to anyone. So when I come here, it says private to only me. So neither Angad nor Vardeep can see these sheets. Now this is a sheet that I'm going to share with Angad because it shows Angad clients outstanding. Right. So first let's share this sheet with Angad. Right. So we give him a view right. So now only Angad can see this sheet, but there's no data out here. So what we are going to do is we are going to pull data from this sheet to this sheet. So to pull data from one spreadsheet to another, you use the function import range. It has got two parameters: spreadsheet URL, the URL of the spreadsheet from which data is to be picked up. So this is the URL, as you all know. So I'm sorry, yeah, copy, paste, right, comma, range string. So see the example, World Cup exclamation A1 to D21. So we need to mention the name of the sheet in this particular spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet can have multiple sheets, as you know. I keep on adding. I can have any number of sheets, sheet 2, sheet 3. But what I want is, I want data from the sheet client outstanding, and I want A1 to C10. So what I'll write here is, so see, the spreadsheet URL is also be written in double quotes as a string, and the range is also be written in the same way. So client outstanding exclamation A1 to C10. Now in the first place, it will show me a reference error. Why? Because I currently do not have an access to that sheet. So once I click allow access, so it allows me access and pulls up the data. So this is to be done in the first place only and not on the later stage. So once one sheet gets access to another sheet, so you can use it any number of times in this particular sheet. So see how it pulls the data from this sheet to this sheet. So it is simple, very simple. It is the simplest function in Google Sheets, but most people are not aware of this function. Now what I want is that only Angad's client should be there. So for that you use the query function. So in query function you can actually specify that from a particular data, which rows and which columns do you want to display. So I write equals to query. So first it says data. So I give it the data, comma, it says query. Now you have to understand the syntax of the query. So you have to first write select and the column names that you want to appear. So I write A, comma, C. Why? Because when I open Angad clients outstanding, I do not want to see that the handling partner is Angad. It is obvious, right? So when Angad client outstanding sheets opens, all the clients that are there will belong to Angad. So I do not want B to be there. So I write select A, comma, C. Now which rows to select? So I write the parameter for it. So select A, comma, C where B equals to Angad. So this is the query, this is the syntax of the query. Select columns where row equals to the text that you want as a parameter, comma. Now it says headers. So always see in it is in this square brackets. So it means it's an optional parameter, but always and always mention it. Otherwise it will assume on its own. So when I write 1, it means in this data the first row is the header row. So you need not check the parameter on this row and simply show it. So even if Angad is not there in the B, it will show this because I said that the first row is the header row. See, now it only shows the clients of Angad: Pradeep, Hitesh, Manish, Chaman and Jadip. So this is how query function works. Now you say that the data here shows all the name of all the clients. So what's the use showing name of the client of Angad? Angad can anyway see this data. So what I should do? I should hide these columns. No, that's not the solution. The solution is that instead of putting import range here and then using this data here in the query, I simply put import range function right here instead of writing the range, right? So what I do is I simply pick up this entire function text, copy, Now I assume that you know a little bit of Excel and you have done working on it, so I'm not explaining that how we build nested functions and all. So I put it here. Now it will show me an error and I'll tell you how. Why? Right? So it shows a value error. Why? Because in query, so this is very important. Listen to this very carefully. In query function, when you write the query, if the query is selecting the data from within the same spreadsheet, you can select A, C. You write the column names A, C, B. But if you are pulling data from other sheet in the query function itself, then you write the column numbers. So you write col 1, col 3 because C is column 3 and B is column 2. So now it shows me the name of the clients of Angad. Now it is not dependent on this data, so I can simply delete this data. I can simply pick this up and put it here. So this is how we prepare this sheet. Now Angad will open up the sheet and can see only his particular clients outstanding. And this sheet stays with the company, with the administrator. So I hope you understood how and why we use query and import range and how does it really help select the data. Now this was a simpler data. You might feel that the utility is not there, but those of you who are working extensively on big data sets, they would realize the importance. But as I promised that I will also show the working of these two functions on a complex data, so I have got this complex data for you. Again, a very dummy data. All the names, all the email IDs, everything here is dummy. So this is something that auditors can use very extensively, right? This is the payments made data of a particular company. So now auditors want to actually pick up certain rows based on certain parameters. So what I can do is, so these are the various payments. These are the approval statuses. So let's say I want to pick up only those rows in which Frederick has rejected. So I need to understand why rejections have been done. So I want to pick those sheets where Frederick has rejected the payment. And I want, let's say, name of the project and a claim amount. I do not want all this stuff. I want the project name, I want the claim amount where Frederick has rejected. So first, let's go into this working sheet and write equals to import range. So let's first bring that data over here. Import range, again spreadsheet URL. So you just come here, copy the URL, paste, comma, range string. So it says payment list from A1 to AP. From payment list exclamation A1 to AP. So first it will ask me to give the access. It should ideally do that. Okay, yes, I used that sheet earlier on this, so that's why it didn't give me the error. So it has picked up all the data, but as we know that we only want 1 2 3 4 5 column number 5 and column number 7, where column number, so we need to count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28. So where column 28 is equal to rejected. So I write query, now this is the data, comma, query is select column 5 and column 7 where column 28 equals to rejected. Or we can have column 28 as well, so that we know that only the rejected ones are picked up. And then is there a header row? Yes, there is one header row, and I close it. So there is some error that we have done. Yeah, we need not close this parameter. Yeah, so we have to put everything in double quotes. Okay, so let's see. Here you go. So Frederick has rejected these particular entries. So you can say the project name, the claim amount, and this Frederick status. So this is how you use import range and query function for fetching data from other spreadsheets, and to actually filter out that data. You can actually filter out the columns and the rows based on parameters and get the data that is of your particular use. So this is how extensive working can be done by you. So we are Bicaps. We are an initiative to improve the working, improve the productivity of the professionals and the business people out there. So support us by subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell icon, and we would be soon coming up with a full range of courses on this spreadsheets and other Google applications, and on some other topics as well. So stay tuned. We would be announcing things on this particular channel only. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it and share it, we would be highly obliged. Thank you very much. Have a great day.